Hi guys, this is Vanessa Joy. I'm gonna put it together reflector while we're talking to you. But we are in sunny California. For once, we are not in New York City. I'm not gonna be able to put this together. Watch, it's all the pressure. And we're gonna take photos today on the side of a road because we were just talking about this earlier. You know, when you start off in photography, you don't always get to photograph all the beautiful places. You get to photograph like motels, right?
I was saying I could have 100%, like in the beginning of my career, hey, who knows, maybe now. I could have shot at this hotel, a wedding, and then you have to find a place, and you do find yourself shooting it on like in front of the craziest places and in like right on the side of the street. So I think it's awesome when Vanessa chose this location.
Definitely.
So
and by the way, guys, this is Jana Williams.
Hi.
She is from the LA area and photographs all these gorgeous luxury weddings here.
Yeah.
We'll definitely put up her Instagram, but it's Jana Williams photos underscore. And then her YouTube is awesome. Tons of tutorials there, and you might see another familiar face there soon. But we're going to get started, and this is June, and June is actually Jana's stepdaughter. So we get to photograph her, and she's gorgeous. And what we're going to focus on today, so we decided to do this because Jana's strength is posing, and admittedly that's kind of one of my weaknesses, and I've been wanting to work on it, making people look more natural. And then one of my strengths right now is lighting. So we are going to create golden hour and just make it this literally corner of a beat up building. There's like graffiti on the window over there. And we're gonna make it look like it's just this beautiful, soft, natural photo that, you know, I hope you'll want to put on your Instagram later. So
I'm excited.
And by the way, this thing that I'm building, because we did fly here from New York and I did not want to take my regular reflector on the plane, this is the Elasto Light Halo. We've got a white side and a gold side, and we're going to use this today. We'll show you how.
It's so good for traveling.
It is so great.
Yeah.
It's not like the round thing, and just goes right in there.
It's really good.
Jan and I are both shooting with Canon. You'll notice we've got some Pro Photo transmitters on here because we're going to trigger some lights. You are shooting with a 50. I'm shooting with a 135, so I love that. We can stick with these lenses. And what body do you have there?
This is the Mark IV. So,
Okay.
5D Mark IV.
Love the 5D Mark IV, and then I've got the 1DX Mark II. So, and Pro Photo A1. Now the Pro Photo A1 here, I've put 2 CTO gels on here. So the idea, if you've seen recent Instagram videos, I've done this where you stack these gels so that you create a warm light, because the sun, if we're going to mimic it, the sun is warm. So that's what we want to do here. All right, so let's get our spot.
Both of those are orange gels?
Both of these are orange gels. You
This
could do
is
it with one, but it doesn't quite give that same like super warm feeling.
I'm so excited to learn because I love when she does this, and it's just like, it blows my mind, and I think it's the coolest thing. So I'm going to really be paying attention.
It is such a fun trick.
Yeah, I love
All right, so let's bring you over here, June. Now, this is the spot we wanted, and I kind of want you here, but to do this and to get this right, where I can like put the sun back here and make all these cattails, fluffy things glow, I need you like in almost an awkward position. So I'm going to have you here. I'm going to test the light first. Let's get our settings, and then you'll end up posing her so she's in a good, comfortable position.
Gotcha.
But she's so cute right there as it is.
Right?
So the first thing we need to do, I'm going to put this down for now. I'm just going to get my settings on her as if I'm just shooting. Yeah, you are. And then we got the little doggy. Oh my God, it's going to be one of those things. Don't worry. From New York, know how to handle this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just get a shot as if we're photographing her as is. So my settings right now, let's take a look and see what we got. And let me know if you can see. Oh, good. Yeah, so the settings we have right now, I'm really low on my ISO. It's pretty bright here, so I'm at 100. I'm at 2.5 on my aperture because I do want the background, which you're going to see more of, to be nice and soft. And then my shutter speed is at 2/50th of a second. I don't want to go higher than 2/50th of a second because while this does have high speed sync enabled, I have a feeling we need as much power out of this light as possible. And the second I go into high speed sync over 250th of a second, the flash has to work harder. It doesn't flash as bright. So I want to stay lower because we're going to probably need this, I would guess, at full power, honestly. That would be my guess, but we don't have to guess. Thankfully, we can. I'm gonna put this on channel 3 if you wanna go to channel 3. We're gonna use TTL, so I'm just going to turn on my light. We're gonna go to channel 3 because that's where we are. And then I'm going to set it to TTL. So TTL is just auto for your light. So you don't have to use a light meter. If you don't want to, you don't have to start on manual and guess. you're just going to have this light out. The only thing I didn't think of is how I'm gonna actually make this light stay. So let's like put it, yeah, this will work.
Yeah.
That won't fall, right?
Kind of perfect.
This might be really great. You know what, June? Take a little bit of a step out that way, and then this should work. Now I'm positioning it this way. I want it up. I don't want it too low. I don't want it on the ground because the sun doesn't go on the ground, so I'm told, right? It, you know, sets behind things. And I want it shooting in a way that it spreads so that it hits her and like gives her a nice hair light, but I also want it to hit all of the background behind her. So I'm actually kind of pointing it not at her whatsoever. I only want that edge of the light to hit her. Where you point the light is extremely important. So that's where it's gonna stay and hopefully not fall. You know, when people ask me about you know, doing shoots and then reflector or not having an assistant, what do you do? Well, that's what you do, and you pray. All right, so let's just take our test on TTL. Oh my God, it looks so fun already. How nice. So this is on TTL. So just look at this before, not the blink, all right? And then after, it's like, boom, we turned on the lights.
Popping in here really quickly on my Lightroom mobile just to edit one of these photos to show you how much you can do even just on Lightroom mobile. The first thing I'm going to do is pop over to my presets, which, yes, are available for mobile Lightroom, and use my Joyfully Simple. That most closely matches my style. The next thing I want to do is go into the color mix, and as you can see, I can mess with the hue, saturation, and luminance of certain colors. Now, the yellow is really what I want to attack. I want to take the yellow, make it go a little bit more orange, and then bring down the luminosity and a little bit of the saturation up. It just gives it an overall rich look. Now, I don't want to affect her skin, so another way I could make this even more punchy is by using selective edits, or like the local adjustment brushes in Lightroom Desktop. I'm just going to trace over and color over the part that I want saturated, making sure to avoid her skin. It honestly doesn't have to be perfect, and I probably should have feathered it a little bit more here, but you get the idea. From there, you can go ahead and change the saturation, bump it up. You can really change anything that you want, but now we're not affecting the skin tone. So we're just warming up our fake golden hour that we've created. And I promise you'll see more of this later. I also like lowering the clarity to give it a little bit more of a depth of field feeling by softening it up. And I decided to go ahead and warm up the overall white balance, including, you know, the skin tone, so everything, and then maybe a little bit more of the tint so I don't get a greenish look. Here's the before and after, so you can take a look at what you can do easily on Lightroom Mobile. Make sure you head to the link below so you can see more about my presets, which are available for Capture One and Lightroom, including Lightroom Mobile. All right, now back into it.
So let's hold this exposure. We're gonna go from TTL. We're gonna go switch it to manual, and it's going to lock in the exposure that we just had. Now, personally, I think it's a little bit too bright. So all I'm gonna do, I'm pretty sure it was on A, I'm just gonna go down one stop, just a little bit. Let's go half a stop. All right, and then I was getting a little bit of highlight on her shirt. So I'm also going to go up. Let's actually go down, because I wanna keep 2.5. I'm gonna go down to L on my ISO, which is 50, which will get me a little bit less light. I'm just gonna do one more test. All right, yes, that looks gorgeous. All right, so the light looks good. The light looks good,
beautiful.
But she looks awkward, so I need you to help me with that.
So yeah, it looks so pretty. And so I definitely, like, the first thing I notice when I see June is that she's got a little hair thing on her arm. So we want to take that out so we don't have to deal with that in post. And then I would just sort of maybe explain to her like the vibe and so what we're going for. And so I'm seeing like, oh my gosh, that photo's so pretty. So it's very like ethereal, it's dreamy, it's like feminine and beautiful. So so I'd also maybe tell her like where the crop is. And I feel like the crop, are you going like here up or just the whole body?
Kind of like here. So you have the 50 on, so you'll do full body while I do a little bit closer, I think.
Yeah, okay,
so,
cool. All right, so here's what, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll kind of do it myself and then kind of go from there, kind of show them exactly what I think would be really good. So what you were doing at first, you were kind of sitting on your knees, but what we want the vibe to feel like is that you're kind of in the middle of a field and you've been sitting there, maybe you're waiting on your boyfriend or whatever it is. So I would make it a little bit more lax, like a little bit more like your legs come out, and plus like you've got these beautiful long legs, so I'm not, you know, you don't want to stack them right on top of each other because it could look like one. So let's make it long. And then you don't want to like fall back and behind. You want to stay up, keep your shoulders down to keep that neck looking really, really long. And just with the hands, either we're going to like hide them right here behind this one, or you could maybe play with one of these and just make sure to like be breathing through your lips. Does that help?
I love it. I love how you accentuated everything, and also not just gave her the scenario, but gave her the whys. Because I think a lot of times, at least when I pose, I'm like, oh, do this, do that. And they don't know why, but saying, no, this elongates this makes your legs look better. And I love it. So what she said.
Awesome.
And the fun thing is, by the way, just so you know, both Jana and I are on the same channel, and we have the transmitter, so we can both shoot around like crazy. And I don't know what this ended up being set at. Let me just check. Yeah, it's at 9.3.
So pretty, yeah.
But
really
we
cool.
can just shoot like crazy, and it's probably not going to misfire at all because it's
Awesome.
for a photo. So
Cool.
why don't you direct her, and I'll be like your second shooter, just kind of getting other stuff.
So yeah, I would maybe I would twist like a little bit further on this leg here, you know, like this one. So like you would twist a little further on this one. Because right now it's a little bit back, and so I'm seeing more of this where I want to see more of you. So you like lean up a little bit and really straighten those legs out. And that way it's just more romantic there. And so turn your body this way a little bit, because we're shooting from there, right?
Yeah.
And
But the
this is
light's
gonna
going
kind
that
of
way too, and yeah. Yes, oh, I love it.
Leaning. This leg's gonna come out more. Okay, this is gonna come out more. And one awesome trick for the legs is that you never want to let the leg just fall on the other one, because it's going to kind of not be as flattering. So being a model is like a workout. So that one's going to kind of stay up. This one's going to elongate. Good. And then this hand, a lot of times when I'm dealing with grooms with their feet, I always have to tell them like exactly what to do with their feet, like point them to me. So just now with June, the hand was like pointed in that direction, but I want your hand to be pointed back that way as you're kind of leaning back that way. Yes, pretty. This one falls, and remember the hand, we're gonna kind of hide it back here, and then the leg is gonna kind of come up. Good. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Beautiful. And then just breathing through those lips. Yes. And it's beautiful. It looks so pretty.
Gorgeous. So you go with your angle, because I'll work around you.
Kind of lift that leg up for me. Cute. Just ever so slight. Beautiful. Pretty. Oh, beautiful. I love when you do that. That looks so, oh, it's so pretty. The wind, all of it. It's gorgeous. Beautiful. Good, June. Good.
June, can you look at me for one? Still look towards Jana, but just like your eyes to me.
Looks great.
How's the light look with your 50? I'm curious.
Oh, it's actually super bright. I should have looked beforehand. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But that's okay. So let's see.
And let me show these guys while you're doing that. So this is what we're getting. Just like super, it almost looks like it's evening, right?
Yeah, I think I wonder if it has something to do with like, maybe if I was zoomed in, it might. You know, because you know, if we're closer, it's going to be warmer.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Pretty.
Gorgeous. So I'm curious, because I want them to compare. So let me see where you are as far as your settings go. Oh, so this is a great example. So Jana's at 800, and what was happening is, I bet if you look at your histogram, and you go to your info, does it say it's shooting at 250? Oh no, it says at 800. So let's just double check. Channel 3, make sure you're in there. Yeah, so go down. Why don't you just copy the same settings I have? That way, I want them to see the difference between how it looks with the 50 and with the 135. So the 135 is going to give you like a haze almost. As a 50, you're not going to see it as much. So even if, Jana, you come right here, I'm curious if you photographed the exact same crop I did, but obviously you have
so pretty.
You have the different lens. So if you come closer.
Oh, it's so pretty through here.
Nice, and it is firing, so I just want to make sure that Perfect. And then zoom in and let's just show them a little bit because I want them to see the difference.
Yeah, because yours is still going to be
It has to do with the lens. So let's show these guys. All right, so when you have a wider lens, it's not going to bring in quite the haze, but you can still see it. I see the golden right here, and you can see it hitting your hair.
True, yeah.
Now what I'm going to do, let me bring the light closer, and you can take the same thing.
Okay, cool.
And I'll just be your assistant.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. With this one, just, yeah, good. Yeah. Pretty.
How's the light look now?
It's a lot warmer.
Yeah.
Which is so good. Oh, it's
so
so
the
pretty.
difference, I love that we have the different lenses because how it looks, because essentially this light is coming into the lens and it's flaring in. So it's going to do it differently depending on the kind of glass you have. With a wider lens, you're probably going to want the light to be a lot closer and it's going to make more of a difference. I'm curious if I put it here and you let it just like peek in a little bit, if it'll give it a flare. With a 135 or a longer lens, it's going to bring in more of like a haze type feel, so it actually works better with a longer lens.
Yeah, I really love what it was doing with your lens. And breathe into this lips a little bit.
Is this good? You like the spot? I'll stay here.
Oh, that's really pretty too.
So let me know if you guys have any questions about combining posing and lighting. And the last thing, can I do something else? Can I just be your assistant?
Yeah.
I'm going to hold this reflector because I have a feeling if we do shoot from that angle, and I'm going to give you this light, and then I'm also going to flex some more light into her face. And then it just might be a little bit more directional. Yeah. And like make her eyes pop. Did it make her eyes pop more?
Yeah.
So much
and
fun.
Is that from the light coming from there?
This is reflecting the natural light off the building right now,
Gotcha.
but you could do it that way. If I did this, let's see if I can do this without getting in your picture. It's going to reflect the light of the orange back at her, and it'll probably be a lot warmer on her face. Cool. Can we show everybody?
Yeah.
Instagram is like, what is happening?
Yes. So this is the one we just took. If you can see that.
Yeah, see all that glow that you got there?
Really close. It's so much different than the first that we took.
Yeah, show them actually the first one so they
Okay.
can see what it's like when we brought it in. Oh yeah, and look at all the
Right.
haze there
So this is with the exact same light, like the exact same
that I had.
that you have, everything, the exact same settings and everything, but I was just further away. And
Yep.
so you can't really see as much.
So the lens doesn't have the same compression. So me
Right.
bringing the light closer physically as opposed to the lens doing that job for me and bringing it in. Now look at the difference.
It's like
oh my
such a
gosh.
difference.
And super natural, and the way you posed her is gorgeous.
And then I'm not sure what I did there. I'm going backwards.
Wrong way. There you
So
go.
there we go. Like so pretty, you guys. Can you see this? Like that looks so good. So much more dreamy. And wow, I would have never known that. I almost want to put on my 7200. You know?
Do it. I'll answer some questions
Should we
if
do
you
that?
want. Oh, so pretty. Cool. How long have we been going for? People get like, what?
minutes.
Oh, good. 20 minutes is
It's
kind
been
of
20
like our
minutes
normal
already.
average. We could just keep going.
Time and space goes away, man.
It does.
when
You
you're
can get
shooting.
up. I'm so sorry. Made her sit there forever. Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Oh my gosh, that was so educational.
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
love that. So I personally what I learned from this is that when I'm going to try to do Vanessa Joy, they should call this, Pro Photo should call this Vanessa Joy's trick. But when I try to do that, I'm definitely going to remember like zoom lenses are my friend when I'm doing this.
Totally your friend. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. So we're here in California. Definitely look up Jana Williams photos _
And June's.
June's. It's
June Jolie.
Yep, June.Jolie, right? Yeah. And we're going to throw this on IGTV. We'll put everybody's tags in there. And thank you so much for doing this with me.
Excited.
I'm glad this worked out.
That was awesome.
And I loved your method of posing and just giving them a scenario, a situation to put themselves in, and then showing them the why. That was huge for me.
Thank you.
I'm Vanessa Joy, at Vanessa Joy. Thanks for being here on Adorama, and we will see you guys next time.